Well, hello, Brandy.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Michelle K. and Flower Child. So, how are you guys tonight?
How? Michelle, I haven't seen you in forever. Of course, why am I saying that? I haven't even been on YouTube.
I haven't
Michelle,
seen anybody in
I like
forever.
I like go into a chat and I'm there a few minutes and gone.
Yep, that's about like me. Yeah, I haven't seen Michelle K. forever. I didn't even know she was still on.
Oh, she's still lurking. She's lurking.
You lurking, Michelle.
I think
So,
she's been
what's
on
new with
vacation.
you? Huh?
I think she was on vacation.
Yeah, I need to take a vacation. That's what I need to take a vacation. That's exactly what I need to do. I need to go to Texas.
Come on, let's go to the beach.
Ooh, she's been doing US tour, visiting all her kids, and I'm finally back to my hermit state. Michelle, you don't even look old enough to have kids. Is hey broken justice? Oh my gosh. Michelle don't even look like she's old enough to have a child.
Oh yeah, she looks very young, but she's old enough.
Yes, she's
Otherwise,
beautiful.
I couldn't send. I send her I send her sexy TikToks. I can't even call them fun TikToks.
Well, why
I
don't you
started.
send me TikToks?
I'll start sending them to you because when her and I modded for Brittany, I got it. I would just send her random sexy TikTok dancers,
Yep.
and now it's a thing.
Gosh, broken. Yes. My dad's back in the hospital. They admitted him today. He's got hyperkalemia. His potassium 6.3. They're surprised he didn't have a massive heart attack.
God
Anyways,
bless.
they've done insulin, they've done diuretics, they've done calcium. Nothing is bringing it down, but he's got a really bad urinary tract infection again. And they had to take him when I took him to Iowa City Friday. They took him off of one of his diuretics, so I'm sure that's what caused his potassium to go up. But I'm supposed to be
Wow.
going to Oklahoma in April to see my brother and meet up with Broken Justice. Thank you, Michelle. He's one tough cookie. It just seems like one thing
Because
after another.
he's been going through the ringer lately.
The last 10 years, it has been in and
Poor
out of the
thing.
hospital. It started off, he ended up having a triple bypass. Actually, it was 8 years ago. He had a triple bypass with a pig valve replacement. And then while he was in the hospital, they found out he had prostate cancer. And they sent him home. And 3 days later, I had him in the ER. He was passing blood clots the size of, I would say, baseballs.
Wow.
And they found out that it was in his bladder or his bladder too. So he went through all the chemotherapy. I mean, 6 months of it. And they ended up, they kept finding more cells. And so they just took his bladder and his prostate, and he has to wear a urostomy to pee out of. And then it just seemed like I'm going to say it, but when he got the COVID vaccine a year ago is when he really went downhill.
Mm.
He got blood clots, and it was a bad deal. Anyways, but he's hanging in there. So I mean,
They
that's
are finding a lot of serious side effects from the vaccines, and I've
oh
had
my
them.
gosh,
So,
yeah,
I'm watching a lot of things, and like a friend of mine, her husband was vaccinated and then had a heart attack a year later, and they've said it's linked to the vaccine.
yeah.
So
Jim's
I'm like,
uncle,
holy shit!
Jim's uncle died. He got blood clots in his lungs. His other uncle, they had to have the vaccine because they were getting married in another country, his son and daughter-in-law. They
Hmm.
flew out to I think it might have been Aruba or something. Anyways, they had to have the vaccine. They got there, he got off of the plane, collapsed, and was dead 3 days later with blood clots in his lungs. And
Holy
that
shit!
doctor there told our Aunt Sharon and Jeff and everybody that it was from the vaccine.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's sad.
Well, it's scary, scary, scary. But Anyways, I have got to tell you, I think I told Little Bit and Without Borders, and I may have told you, I got to tell you guys what happened a couple of weeks ago to me. And I don't know if any of you guys believe in God, but let me tell you, He is real. I had to go pick up my daughter's medicine, and it was at a grocery store called Hy-Vee. I don't know if you guys have a Hy-Vee, but one side you walk into the pharmacy, and the other side is the store. So I went in on the one side to get her medicine, and I went ahead and thought I'll go ahead and pick up a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread, and I think I got her some Oreos or whatever. And when I walked out, I seen this lady. She looked like she didn't have a lot. She was in an old banger car, and she almost, when I looked at her, I don't know, I just kind of felt sorry for her. And I picked up my hand. I had the bag around my arm, and the other hand I had the milk, and I just kind of picked up my hand to say, hey, and smiled at her. Well, she didn't even, she just kind of glared at me. Well, I kept walking towards my truck, and I swear, you guys, I got goosebumps. I could hear somebody yelling to go check on that woman, but there was nobody yelling at me. I could hear the voice, it wasn't like just a voice that somebody's talking to you in your head. I heard the voice like somebody was yelling it to me.
Hey, Without Borders.
Hey, girl. Oh, I know you said you wasn't feeling good. You've already heard the story. I'm telling these guys about it. So, anyways, I kind of ignored it and kept walking to my truck. And I went to put the groceries in the back seat of my truck, and I heard it said, go check on her. Well, so I kind of walked back to the car. I put the groceries in. I walked back towards her car and asked her to roll down her window. And she rolled it down maybe a fourth of the way. And all I did was say, it's a pretty day out, isn't it? We finally have sun. And she wanted no part of any conversation with me, none. It was like she was staring into me, but wasn't listening to anything that I was saying. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I just said, have a nice day. I turned back around and headed back towards my truck. And it was something stopped me in my track, like I hit a freaking brick wall. And I couldn't move forward. I couldn't move sideways. And the voice said, go pray with her. Go pray with her. I thought, what? I literally kept ignoring it, but I couldn't go anywhere. It was like I was paralyzed, I swear. So I'm like, okay. So I turned around and I walked back towards her vehicle, asked her to roll down the window. And this is where it really gets to me. But I said, may I pray with you? And she said, yes. And she put out her hand, just the one hand, because her window was still only a fourth way down. She put out her hand, and I couldn't even tell you what I said. It was like I was not even saying the prayer. I don't even remember what I said as far as the prayer goes. And she was crying while I was holding her hand, and she was grasping my hands really, really tight. And she was sobbing so hard. And all of a sudden I stopped praying. And I said, I hope everything's okay. She got out of her truck and she grabbed a hold of me and held me and just collapsed into my arms. And anyways, she said to me, I did never believe in God before, but I do now. She says, you have no idea what just happened. And I said, no, I don't. She says, I had been contemplating suicide. She had lost her husband like 5 months ago, her mom 2 years ago. She lives in a town which is about 25 miles away from me. I gave her my number. She has been going to church. She's called me 3 times. I want her to come on here and tell the story. She can't, she still does. I mean, she thinks I saved her life. And I'm like, it wasn't me, I promise. It was God.
That's
Or
really cool.
higher above. Something, I believe in God 100%. It was either him or an angel of some kind. But I've been waiting. Every time I tell the story to people, I just start crying because it's so amazing. Um, she has a sister and a brother-in-law and a niece. That's the only family she's got. She's not real close to them, but she said she pushed him away when she lost her husband. She's getting better. She's actually starting therapy, or she started therapy last Thursday. Definitely a vessel to help her because I mean, everybody's like, well, I probably would have just kept going. I said I couldn't go. It was like I was paralyzed. There was no going forward. There was no going off to the side. It was either turn around and go back.
I love stories like that because you never know. That's one thing I hated during the pandemic is having to wear a mask because sometimes that smile
Yeah.
is the only smile somebody's going to get.
Yeah.
And that friendly gesture is just needed.
She told me she was driving around figuring out how she was going to commit suicide. And she drove from Sheraton clear to Ottumwa and back through Ottumwa and came back through Albia. And she said, I don't know. I was tired. I thought I'll just pull in here to the grocery store. And she said, because she said, if you wouldn't have stopped me, she goes, I was thinking of running head on into a semi or running head on into a bridge, going really, really fast, going back home and pulling the car into the barn and leaving it run. She said, all this was going through my mind. Isn't that crazy, you guys? I'm telling you.
That is crazy.
And I thought she was like probably 7 years older than me, maybe 8. She's only 2 years older than me. And she told me she hadn't, I don't know what depression feels like. Thank God I don't know. But she said it had been like a week since she had even showered. She just wanted no part.
Yeah, people who are in depression, it takes more energy than you have just to get out of the bed.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And not everybody has the same symptoms when it comes to depression, but it is very, very, very common that taking a bath is just absolutely excruciating to do.
Yeah.
Something simple like that. And really, once you manage to make it happen, you do feel better, but it takes everything. That's something that when I'm struggling like that, my husband, he'll go in there and run the bath and say, hey, it's run, just go get in.
Yeah.
That way, because he knows, because you just can't function.
Oh, that is just so sad. Yeah. So sad.
It's a very scary place for people that are fighting those demons.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about that. I just had to tell the story because I think it'll help somebody.
Good thing you listened. I'm glad you listened because she needed somebody, and that's pretty amazing.
She did too. I mean, yeah, she's a sweetheart, and I'm just thankful that she's getting better and she's learning to live again.
Yeah.
She said what did it is she lost her mom 2 years ago, and then of course her husband. He was 8 years old or 9 years older than her, and he had a heart attack 5 months prior. And she said, I had been with him since I was 16 years old. And she goes, that's all I've ever known, Yeah. I mean,
it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to hear a little bit about this case that you're looking into.
Oh, Lord. So I was kind of going through YouTube earlier and come across a video on this one, and it is now, trigger warning, this stuff in this story is the most disgusting, horrific shit I've ever heard.
Do I need to put a trigger warning out there?
You might want to. Okay. You might want to. It is, and I'm going to have to use a lot of code words because you know how YouTube is. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay.
You have the example banner up, not a trigger warning.
Yeah, banner. I know. I got to get it on. Don't get me. Yeah, I know. I suck at this. I'll get it figured out. Let me get that one off and the example one. Hey, at least I pushed live this time.
Right, you hit live and we weren't talking for 10 minutes. Because look, I have gone so hard since last week. I'm almost a week, and it's like I need to just stop for a day and not do nothing, and it's not happening. And we're 18 days away from my daughter's wedding, so it's really not happening. I've got a cake to make. We've got a lot of stuff to do, and yeah, I don't like having to go this hard.
Ugh,
It's like, oh
yeah.
my god. So
Oh boy.
this case, oh, and I don't have. I'm like reading the details because I literally just found it like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Um, it's the Zolock family, Zulock. It's a married gay couple, a male couple. Let me see what their names are: Zachary and
Oh, I've already seen that. Are you talking about the two little boys?
yes,
Oh
they
my
adopted the two little
gosh.
boys,
Yes.
and they've been sexually abusing them.
Yes. Yes. I seen it. I think Mike from that chapter or somebody did it the
Well,
other
I caught it
day.
on 10 to Life. 10 to Life
No,
did
that's where
one.
I seen it too. I seen
Yeah.
it with Annie Elise. Yeah, that
Thank
was
you, Michelle. I'm
awful.
super excited, but my God, the work that I'm fixing to have to be doing, I'm panicking. Now that I've done all my contracts and like got over the excitement part of it, I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna be amazing at it though, Brandy. This
And
is
then I
for
just got a
you.
phone call yesterday because we just scored a interview with an author that I was hoping we could get. So and it's going to be on Ted Bundy, and so it's going to be so exciting. But it's like now that's 5 shows that I've got to start working on recording, and I told her I was like I have to get through the wedding before I can do shit. I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I have to get through this wedding. But yeah, thank you, Michelle. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
I know where it's gonna go. You're gonna go way high. That's all I know.
Well, and I'm trying to get ready to go to the gala because they're doing a gala in June for the Nemesis project and kind of a kickoff for the network and everything. And I'm wanting to go, but my lord, flights to get there and back are going to cost me right at $600. I'm like, holy shit! So I'm trying to research that and find them cheaper because I'm looking at dropping $1,000 just to go for the 3-day weekend.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that's just getting hotels and benefit tickets and everything else. That's not even like extra food, and I've got to buy a formal dress, and yeah, it just I'm
Wow.
overwhelmed. That's why I was
Yeah, but
looking at
it'll be
border
well
stories.
worth it. Well worth it.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, so these two men adopt these two special needs boys and
Oh,
sexually abuse them, videotape it. They're abusing them. They're forcing the boys to do things to them. They
yep.
send it to friends. They're selling it, I think, is what I'm
Yep.
picking up on.
Yep. And oh my gosh, some of the stuff you guys will have to go watch it. I'm
I
telling
mean,
you,
they're not even saying just sexually abused. They're calling it RAPED.
yeah.
They did the whole deed.
And did
And
you listen to the phone calls from in
oh
the
my
jail?
God. Worried
Those
about
people,
their subscription services and not the children? Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
they're nuts. They
Yeah.
need to be hung.
Well,
Sorry.
like the oldest, the 11-year-old, they say he had severe injuries to his rear end from some of the abuse.
Yes. Yes.
And now, when I was just reading, this was posted, it was updated in February, but doesn't let's see, what does it say, what day? It doesn't say, just says February of 23. Atlanta cops are reopening investigation into the adoptive father accused of raping a 14-year-old boy in 2011.
Yeah.
So there was an allegation in 2011 and nothing went forward in that case. It was just like lost in the system.
Yep.
And
And
then now that this has come out, they're reopening the case. Had they
yeah,
done their job then, these little boys wouldn't have been hurt.
Well, then the adoption agency that they went through was they shut down, and the one person was working on another agency. They wanted a little baby girl.
Right. How sick is that?
And thank God they didn't get that baby girl because she
Like,
was what,
how
14 months? Oh
sick
my
is that?
gosh.
And I would like to know how extensive of a background search did this adoptive agency do? Because it was a Christian based special needs type of home. So did they do really thorough? Did they really, really look? Because you would think if this kind of allegation was already on there, they would have seen that.
Yeah. Well, they had a beautiful home. What was it? Almost $1 million
Oh,
home.
it's a huge home.
Yeah, and he worked at a bank, and I can't remember what the other guy did, but they wondered, now they see how they could afford all that because they were selling those pictures
Selling child porn. Yep.
and plus allowing their friends to do things. I just,
Yeah, it is it was gut wrenching. I was sick.
yeah,
I was like, this is absolutely disgusting.
it is. And there's so much of that around, and that's just a very, very,
Well, and sadly, there were people attacking it, making it about an LGBT community issue, and that's not it at all.
Mhm.
There are many, many, many LGBT people out there that adopt children who are amazing families.
Yeah, Michelle, they were
But
special needs kids.
yeah, they were special needs kids. So
Oh,
I don't like
you
the idea
said.
that people are attacking the LGBT community over it, because that's not okay. That's doesn't have anything
People,
to do with it. It just happens to be a gay couple who did it. I mean, it's
yes,
happened with heterosexual couples. You
yes,
know what I mean?
exactly,
So it's not
exactly.
about their sexuality. It's about the fact that they hurt children in a way that should never, ever, ever, ever happen.
Yep.
Oh,
It
it's the more I listened today, Michelle, I'm not even kidding. I was just like, oh,
yeah, it'll definitely make you sick to your stomach and bring tears to your eyes. If not, just sit down and want to cry.
they didn't say exactly that I have looked at yet what the special needs were of the little boys.
Well, the one I believe was autistic. The other one, I don't remember if they
Yeah,
did
see,
say anything.
I didn't read that far into it yet, because I was like, are they even verbal? Can they communicate what's going on?
I don't know, but the one, I think you already mentioned it. He has a lot of problems in his back area. I mean,
Right, his rear end is not okay.
ugh, I guess, we need more God in this world. There's so much evil taken over. It's scary.
Well, we need our system to do their damn job.
Well, that too. But
I mean, you've got cops who are overlooking serious issues in the departments, allowing these other cops to do damage to people like Tyree Nichols. Then you've got people like these dudes
yep,
who are hurting babies and getting away with it because another case wasn't looked into thoroughly. And it
yep.
just, oh, it's frustrating.
I mean, there's a lot of good cops, but there's a lot of corruption too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was
Not
talking about
just,
this
y-
yesterday. It's like, I am a back the blue person.
yep,
People will see that a lot. I am going to have the blue line. I back the blue.
yep,
Every time I'm going to have their until there's proof that it was wrong on their part. You know what I mean? I'm going to start
exactly.
out on their side. I just do. It's just my nature. I have too many friends in law enforcement, and
Yep,
it's just how I see it. Now, when they cross that line, I'm the first also to say you fucked up.
yep, yep. I
And,
agree. And like I said,
but it's just,
oh
yep.
gosh, yeah. When you said that name, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly who that is.
Oh yeah, and it's I just I'm sitting there going, do I really want to do a deep dive on this to talk even further
Oh,
about it? I mean, can I stomach it? Because like, give me serial killers any days, guys. Give me serial killers any day.
yeah,
Even family annihilators, I can go deep into that, but I can't do these that are hurting these children this way. This is just the
exactly.
mental scars on these babies is sometimes impossible to mend, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. I'm going to be covering Sheena Gibbs. I did her I covered her case. It was like a year ago in November. So it's been, probably, way over a year, but that I can't seem to get her out of my mind. And that lady reached out to me, her friend's aunt, or she worked, this girl that reached out to me, her aunt worked with Sheena, and nobody's talking about it. And it's like, why don't people talk about these other cases that nobody's talking about? Because it doesn't bring them money, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
mean, there's so many missing people every day, but this girl, she had cancer, and she survived that and was taking care of her dying mother, and was going to go on the train and go back to where her mother lived, and never to be seen again. And the girl that commented about it, I guess the boyfriend was physically and verbally abusive. So I imagine, I mean, I don't know. I need to look more into it, but I hope law enforcement's, interviewing him, because
So there's a case that's coming loose right here, literally around the corner for me. Literally, uh, what is that? A quarter of a mile, maybe. So in 2022, this woman come up missing, and she had been dropped off. She was seen with these people on the road. Um, the next day or 2 days later, they found a bag of her belongings sitting right there where the last place she had been seen. And nobody's seen her since. There were comments that the one person made that were very damning. I don't remember the exact. I'd have to pull up the page to see what that exactly was, but it was very damning to what could have happened. And so last week, FBI did a search warrant on the house. And today they issued a second search warrant for the property next door, pertaining to evidence that they pulled out of the house for the first search warrant. And FBI said today that they will be there several days, and
wow.
they expect to have answers.
Jeez.
And it's like, holy shit. And this is a small town, guys. There's not even 1,800 people. What is ours?
How
14,
many?
1,600 people? I think we have 1,600 people in this little town.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I say little, guys, this town is little.
I mean, we've got like 4,000, and I think this is a very small community.
Yeah, this is little. Like, I am on the outside of the town, and I am 4 blocks from the high school. I can watch the high school games in my yard.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's little.
So, well, while I've got you guys, the ones in the chat, and you on panel, what do you think of the Murdaugh? I have been following it, but just not talking about it. What is your guys' theory on that?
Yeah, I started following Murdaugh. I started following it a long time ago, back when there was just a podcast, and there was another documentary, not the one that's on Netflix right now, but there was another one. So I had kind of been following that and waiting for him to get charged.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they proved that had enough evidence and proved it thoroughly enough that
he's going to get off, I think.
I suspect and fear that he's going to.
Yep.
Just because of the money.
Too. She thinks so too. He is so guilty. So freaking guilty.
I think he hired somebody, Michelle.
He's definitely involved.
Somebody. I think that there's one guy that has actually been kind of come out about it, that he accused of shooting him. I think that's all involved. I think that he hired somebody. I mean, he was there. The blood splatter shows he was there.
Yeah. Well, and then all the lies. He told like 6 different lies.
Yeah. Well, all the cover up they've done all the years. I mean, the fact that his son got away with the death of Mallory in the boating accident.
Yep. And you know what's crazy is, my daughter has her own attorney from her accident, and I watched this attorney, and I'm calling a friend of mine who her sister and brother-in-law, they do accidental, kind of like Caitlin's, but they were in Iowa. Caitlin's was in Missouri because that's where it happened. But anyways, I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you think if did she get money already and this lawyer could have done this? And she's like, Allison, I'm telling you, there's corrupt lawyers, don't get me wrong, but not around this little area. I mean, there's always going to be some corruption, but they would never
Right.
do that
Well,
to.
that's a family that is rooted deep into the community from years.
I mean, look at the housekeeper. He took those boys' freaking
Mm-hmm.
money. How can
Yep.
they do that? How did he get by with that?
Yep.
What was he spending all that money on? Surely it wasn't pills.
Well, according to what they're saying, he wasn't even paying his own bills.
Yeah,
But he
guys,
evidently had a gambling addiction, and I mean, it just.
but to kill you.
I'm hoping that the jury. My thing is, I don't understand why they didn't get a change of venue. That is very strange to me.
There's a lot of strange
Because he's too prominent. That should have been moved from there. But at the same time, I'm hoping like crazy that he hasn't snowed the jury and they don't fall for his bullshit.
Exactly, Michelle. He stole from his dying friend. And then the boy that was gay and they found him dead, now they're thinking the Murdaughs was involved with that. And he even went to the family and said, I will represent you without, free of charge. Well, no wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did these other attorneys not know that he was taking all this money?
Yeah, it is a very wrapped case. I mean, it is just so entangled that that's why I haven't talked about it.
It's going to be done.
It's one of those that I've been fascinated with it, but not fascinated with it, if that makes any sense.
I was not fascinated with this up until probably 10 days ago.
Yeah, Michelle, like literally, this is I've never seen anybody with such a black cloud that followed them with so much disaster, mayhem, and murder. I mean,
if he gets off, somebody's going to end up killing him, probably.
Yeah, well, and like, I was watching the documentary last night. Well, I couldn't sleep. And, and they're questioning Mallory's boyfriend and her dad. And they have every right to suspect them. And it's logical that it would have been them.
Yeah, Michelle, the wife's nickname was Murdering Maggie. When I listened to the 911 call with the housekeeper, that Maggie, and God rest her soul, but she was awful to that dispatcher.
Yeah. Very snooty. Very snooty.
Very. It's like, lady. Yeah. And that one guy that worked on the, the yard and stuff, he said the dogs wasn't even around. Because, they said the dogs tripped her. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then what about Lindsay Clancy? What's your thoughts on her? At first, I really did think that she had a psychosis going on, but I don't know. There was a lot of.
No, I've always felt she had psychosis.
Did you, have you watched any of this though with her? Why did she track where he was going to pick up the food?
Why did she map out where it was at?
Yeah, and how long?
I don't know. I do that all the time. See, I don't know. I do that all the time, so I don't find it strange.
Okay. Well, I kind of found that a little strange.
Especially if she's fighting anxiety and, she's knowing all this is going on.
Well, they were drugging her. They were drugging her. I thought maybe it was a side effect from all the meds that she was on too.
Well, in my opinion, he should have never left.
Well, he said today, was it today or yesterday? Anyways, he said the doctors have never, not once told him not to leave her by herself. But
I haven't watched anything in the last 2 weeks on it.
Yeah, you'll
But
have
I
to go
mean,
watch more on it because
she's paralyzed.
Mhm.
She's. I mean, I think she meant to take her own life and all of that. So I do. That's why I feel like it is psychosis.
Yeah. All I know is
Not
I know
right in the
my
brain.
niece
Also,
went
there's large
through
issues with the
that
drug situation. The roommate.
postpartum
Wait, which one is
depression.
Michelle? Michelle has me confused. Michelle, which case are you talking about?
She's not right in the brain, but also there are a lot of extreme issues with the dad's living situation and roommate. Right. Which one? Because there's so many cases out
No,
there.
I'm going, wait, what?
We were talking about Lindsay Clancy, and I think she's talking about somebody else. I want to know who she's talking about
Yeah.
because there's so many. I could never. Lindsay Parton. Um, Lindsay Parton.
Well, I haven't heard of
The
that.
one that was babysitting. Okay. I think I've heard a little bit. Have you guys heard about the nurse that was killing all these babies?
There's another one of those?
She was a nurse, not Lindsay Clancy. Hold on, and I can tell you her name. She's a young girl, maybe in her, and it's in the UK, I think. Her name is Lucy Letby, Letby. You guys,
Oh, I haven't heard
she's
of that one either.
she's only 33, but she killed I don't know how many, maybe 3 babies, but attempted to kill 10 between 2015 and 2016. You guys
Wow.
have got to go check her out. She was a very, I think what happened with her, she wanted all the attention. I mean, she would work overtime. Uh, and then she would complain about how tired she was and blah, blah, blah. But she's one of these people that was going in and doing something to these babies and then being there to save them like she was their savior. And it lasted a long time. I don't think she meant to kill these babies, but she was putting air into their abdomens and blood. Oh, it's awful. Anyways, yeah, Lucy Letby is her name. And it was in I think it's like in the UK or something, but crazy. She
Well,
hasn't been to trial yet.
the one that I have been kind of consumed by for the last couple of years, it is yeah, it's kind of a form of Munchausen, Michelle.
Yep.
Um, but it's a death row case that I was looking at as wrongful conviction, and I'm torn. It's like, and I've talked to this man's wife, and her and I have become really good friends. She is a sweetheart, and he's on death row, and his execution date is like 56
Ugh.
days, 52 days away
Where's this at?
in Texas. It's a Texas, and in Texas they go fast. Once they decide to pull it, it's fast, and they've been trying to get him off on wrongful
So who
conviction.
is it?
His
What's
name
the
is
name?
it's Ivan Cantu. If you go listen to the Cousins by Blood podcast, you're going to get all the information. There's so much. I've been wanting to cover the
Cousins
case.
by Blood.
Cousins by Blood. There is so much information in it. It's like, how do you put it together? I don't know how Matt has done it. He has done amazing work. But
Is that
with
on
this
YouTube or
one,
a podcast?
it's a podcast.
Okay. Do you have to have like an iPhone? I am so
You
electronically
can anything
ridiculously.
it's on any of the platforms.
Okay. Has his case been submitted to the Innocence
I
Project?
don't believe they've taken it. He's got new attorneys that have turned information in. They've had things retested. Um, and I think there's one last little Hail Mary they're trying to throw right now. The thing is with it they tried it as capital murder because when you commit a murder in the place of another felony, it becomes capital murder, which is punishable by death. So they said he stole the vet, and it's his cousin that he killed, his cousin and the cousin's fiance. They said he stole the ring, he stole a expensive watch, and he stole the vet. Well, the vet is tagged on the tollway at a specific time in the middle of the night or like the next morning, and Ivan was nowhere around. Him and his girlfriend at the time were headed to Arkansas to see her family. There's No possible way he would have been on the tollway with the car. The ring they've never found. They're like, because the girlfriend claimed he had given her the ring, but then she couldn't even describe the ring. So that was kind of weird. The watch he was supposed to have had, the family had. It was in the safe. They'd had it the whole time. It had been given back over to the family, and nobody said anything while he was at trial. His attorneys called no witnesses. None.
Wow.
0.
Mm.
He wanted to testify. There were several things he wanted to do. He actually wanted to represent himself in closing, and they kind of worded things that scared him, so he didn't do it. What was one of the time of death? The time of death of the fiance is like 6 hours different than the cousins, which would be no way possible for him to have done it. There was a roommate or a friend of the cousins that was living there for a little bit while he was working. He goes somewhere else to do his laundry. Now they have a washer and dryer, but he didn't do the laundry there. He would go somewhere else to do his laundry. That makes no sense to me. That's weird. His alibi, this is weird. His alibi for where he was at, he had a key, he had everything, he had means, motive, everything. His alibi, they never questioned the alibi.
Wow.
The alibi he gave. Because the guy in the podcast was like, yeah, he wasn't with me. Nobody ever asked me about that. And they're like, wait, but he says that he was with you at the time of the murder. I said, no, he wasn't. He called me the next day to tell me it happened.
Huh.
So, yeah. And I'm like, that's just weird. Just super weird. And so there's a lot with it that makes me go, nah, this is, for one, death penalty, 2, reasonable doubt, or that he didn't do it at all. But then there's things that happen that I'm like, okay, now I think he's guilty.
Oh, boy.
It's one of those cases that it makes me crazy. And I told his wife that. I'm like, 1 minute I'm like, no, Ivan's innocent. And then I'm like, oh, shit, maybe he's not. And she's like, I get it. Oh, crap, my husband's calling.
Oh, well, you can.
Hold on, let me.
That's fine. That's another case that I want to go over again, and that's that Todd Mullis case from Manchester, Iowa, just straight north of here. And I said it before when I did a video on him over a year ago, and I believe, in my opinion, that guy is innocent. I think what happened to his wife is it was an accident, and I don't know if any of you got Michelle. Have you ever heard of Todd Mullis? They called it the corn rake murder. He was charged and he got guilty for taking a corn rake and mauling it and throwing it into her back or something. And she had been dizzy. She had some kind of a surgery. She had been dizzy. And I think what happened is she went to get the cat crate, and she fell back into that corn rake and tried to get back up again and went back into it, because there was only 6. If he would have done it, there would have been blood spatter on her or him all over the walls, and there was no blood. Anyways, I want to do that case again. There's actually a Facebook page called Todd Mullis is Innocent, and I follow it. I've actually became really good friends with his mom's friend, and he got a new yes. Ooh. You're going to have to show a picture before you come up. I've never seen you before. Yeah, I know, Michelle. I've I've been ping bombed way too many times. Nope, you won't be coming up then. Sorry. Well, I've been told that before. I'm sorry. I'm not letting you up. You don't have a camera. You're not going to come up. Well, that you'll figure StreamYard out another time. Not here, buddy. Sorry. Not gonna happen. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Especially when you've never been in my chat ever. Why do people do this? Brandy must be having a good.
Sorry, I'm back. What happened? Who was trying to come up?
Some guy that don't have a camera wants to come up, or girl. I said no.
Yeah, not happening. Sorry. That's how bad things happen.
Yeah, I've been peen bobbed way too many times.
Yeah. So, like Dave calls and he's giving me updates because they had to let somebody go. Like he's banned from the plant, the refinery, and then that was happening last night. So they were trying to move things around, and then they had 3 guys pull up today. They got mad because they got moved tonight, so they're mad and don't want to go back to work. So they're getting all that situated, and then they just found out that some of their best workers have to leave Friday for another job, and so all next week they're shorthanded.
Oh gosh.
So he's like, yeah, this is fixing to be real fucking fun. And then
Yeah.
Jovi's need to go outside to go to the bathroom, so I get up to let him go to the bathroom, and there's a big ass spider behind my head.
Oh, don't do that. Don't talk about spiders.
So I literally am sitting
Brandy?
here screaming while I'm on the phone. Luckily,
Brandy.
thank God the computer was muted because y'all would have died. And I'm like going, how do I kill it? And he's like, babe, I don't know. I'm not there. You're going to have to get. I'm like, I can't kill it. So yeah,
Brandy.
I finally got I did kill it. It did die.
Was it a great big one?
It was a pretty good sized one.
Fuck.
Okay,
let's stop talking about spiders. Really, seriously. Let's just stop.
I'm freaking out. Trust me. I'm like looking around now at everything. Going.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my garage.
The dogs were like thinking I'm playing. I'm over here screaming because of a bug. No, yeah.
Oh, you see, yeah. I would be up on my freaking countertop screaming at Jim to kill one. Yeah.
Normally that's what I do, but I have no choice because there's nobody here.
Gypsy, my little cavapoo, killed one day. She was playing with it, and she rolled it with her paw, and then it crawled again, and she rolled it again and smashed it.
Usually my cats will see them and go after them, but he was literally behind my head. Like this could have been really bad. This could have been bad.
Okay. Yep.
I would have thrown my computer. It just would have been bad. I would have hurt myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget the time I was probably 16. Actually, I was 18 because I had Lacey, and I used to be deathly scared of bumblebees. Really, now we raise honeybees, but bumblebees and those big yellow one got into my car, and I pulled into the law center and got Connie Golick. She was the sheriff's deputy, and she made fun of me for that for 30 years. That I pulled into the law center to get that bumblebee out of my freaking car.
Well, I don't know if y'all have them up there, but we call them banana spiders. Those huge, they're like yellow and black, really big. They're really pretty, but they're like huge and make these huge nests up in the trees.
There ain't no spider that's pretty.
There's some are, but I still think they're creepy and scared the fuck out of me.
No, but the big spiders we have are the wolf. The wolf.
Oh, we get a shit ton of those too. I think, yeah, those freak me out.
I'm scared of birds, spiders, and bees. Or birds, spiders, and bees are not. You're scared of birds, like blackbirds, crows.
I love birds.
I like them when they. I like listening. There's this person on TikTok that has a parakeet. I think that's what it is, and that freaking bird calls him. He comes. Where have you been, you dumb son of a bitch?
Probably a parrot. They tend to be very vocal like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I could. Yeah.
My dad had a parrot show up at his house, and he just showed up out of the blue. And they called him Tequila because he would go Tequila. And so Dad just named him Tequila, and he would say, "What's up, motherfucker?" I would die laughing, and then he'd wake us up in the morning barking like the dogs.
The bird would?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
he mimicked it. My
Yummy.
dad had dachshunds, and he would mimic them, sound just like them.
Oh my God. Michelle had to call my neighbor over to get a tiny little bird off of my bed when I left my window open one day. She picked it up and took it out of the house. I love hummingbirds. They're my favorite. Now the birds, the big black ones, or those what are those the vultures? They can cause some damage. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, my daughter has a brand new car. 4 days before her first payment was due on her car, they hit one of them damn vultures going down the road, shattered her whole windshield, almost bent the frame. It was bad.
Yeah.
Hi, Yimmy.
We had one freaking fly into the window, and its wing was a flapping, hitting her and me both in the face. It was awful.
Mm.
Yeah, they are gross. They eat the dead road things. Yeah.
I like all animals. I like birds. I like the wildlife. I like any of it. I just don't do spiders.
Yeah.
Technically,
You
that's the
also
only thing
like
I'm scared of.
chickens, your little chicklets.
I do. I love everything.
Oh, speaking of Brandy, I have all your thing boxed up that I'm sending you.
Oh,
But
okay.
I also found a coffee cup with 2 quail. Do you want that? Because I'll
Sure.
just put it in the same box.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I
And
think
my
it would.
quails.
Yeah, you and your quail.
I need to video my blind one. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I named her Zoe, and she's so cute. She goes around her little cage, and she does. You know how a chicken will peck its head, kind of bob its little head. She does that as she goes around. She gives me 1 egg a day, and she's now getting to where she'll come to me to my hand and let me rub on her, and just kind of curl up in my hand. She better not, Michelle, because I'll send them back because she's just as scared.
Oh shoot! Wouldn't that be awful?
Oh my
You'd
God.
kill me.
We were years ago. My God, this was years because my kids were little bitty. Our church had this like a charity room where we had clothing that we could give out to people that needed nice clothes, stuff
Yeah.
that the church people had given over. And we were organizing it. So we were like doing it by men's vests, jackets, and all that, complete organization. And I'm in there working my tail end off. And my best friend's husband, I won't call him my best friend because of this incident, even though I love him. I love him to pieces, and he knows that. But my best friend, she's dying because she knew it was fixing to happen, and she knew I was going to kill him. And he takes one of those big toy plastic spiders that's like 8 inches big.
Oh
Cute.
gosh.
And puts it in between some of the clothing that I had to move. So when I move it, this thing, and he had done a string so it tied, so all it did was kind of hang. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
my.
screaming. I'm like somersaulting out of the room, running over everybody. They're dying. They're like peeing their pants laughing at me. And I'm dropping cuss words. And I'm like, y'all made me cuss in church. Dang it. I get to the hallway. I have beat myself blue and trying to kill whatever it was. And I'm sitting there crying, trying to get my breath, and they're laughing. And I'm like, I hate every one of y'all.
Oh yeah. I would.
You.
Yep.
Oh, he thought it was hilarious, Michelle. And to this day, he will ask me, have you ever forgiven me? No, I haven't. Nope. And he's just that's just his personality, though, is to jack with you like that. So yeah, yeah.
Gosh, have you seen I'm sure you have seen the TikTok where they put this bucket and it's the wife, and they say they caught a mouse, and they are freaking out, and the husband's jumping up and down because the wife's jumping up and down. And then he finally gets it, and the wife had put a computer mouse.
Oh, wow. I love the ones where people jump and freak out, and everybody else jumps and freaks out and has no clue what they're jumping and freaking out over. Yeah. I love those. Those crack me up.
Yeah.
Those make me laugh.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching, like I said, I was watching Little House on the Prairie TikToks before I came on, bawling, laughing, all at the same time. Gosh.
I had started following Matt Rife, Rife, on TikTok. He's a comedian. and he kind of goes at the audience, like if they're it ends up being his jokes are on the audience, like a conversation with them. He is so funny. Oh my god, he is so funny. I have fallen down that rabbit hole, and of course, I'm always watching Officer Kingery. Those are the videos I send to Michelle when Kingery is doing sexy dances.
Michelle's gonna record something and send it to you if she records it.
Please do, please do.
She was gonna try that.
I would do it with mine, but mine's such a flatline personality, dude. He would not react. Like if I was to win the lottery, come in and say, "Baby, we won $1 million," and be freaking out, he'd go, "Oh, cool, we headed to Austin." You know, he's just like no reaction.
Yep, none. That's the way Jim is.
None. We call it flatliners. There's none.
Yep. Gosh.
Which is probably a good thing because he's married to me, so we couldn't have two of us in one house.
I've been watching a lot of the train derailment.
That's been crazy.
And what they're doing, and this government, you guys, I'm telling you, it just makes me sick. But I found out that they're digging up the soil and trying to get a lot of the water, and they hired a company to take the water and the soil to Michigan, Texas, and Pennsylvania. And why aren't they telling people? Because, these semis are carrying this stuff. If something would happen, just like Arizona, the truck.
I wonder if they're bringing it here to run it through the refineries to pull the stuff out of it.
I don't know, but they are. They're bringing it.
Huh. Lovely.
Yeah. Crazy. There's so many of them. I mean,
well, y'all know it is the 30th anniversary of the siege at Waco, right?
Yeah.
Or we're in the countdown of the final day of it. But yeah, our government has for a very long time been jacking with its people.
Yep. And there's so many of these freaking explosions, these huge plants.
Well, there was an active shooter today in where was that shooter at?
And they're not talking about it on the mainstream media. That's what's sad, is because my mom and dad wouldn't know anything if it wasn't for me telling them.
This one popped up on Twitter, actually, is how I seen it today. Let's see, where was it at?
You get me on Twitter, and then that's a whole new freaking ball game for me, because I can get into some conspiracy theories on Twitter, especially with old Elon Musk. There's something up with that dude. I don't care what anybody says.
I do not. Was it the one that was at Kansas? It might have been Kansas. Let's pull up Twitter. Yeah, I get Twitter. I don't stay as much on Twitter as I used to. I just don't do a lot.
I still don't know how to tweet, but I like looking at what people are tweeting, and it has nothing to do with YouTube and turning people in. I follow Elon Musk, Trump, just see what they're talking about. You guys, have you heard of the Illuminati the card game?
Yes.
That, there's so many of that coming true. It just freaks me out.
You know what my son says? He cracks me up. He says that if you watch The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what? Yep. I never watched The Simpsons. So it's like weird.
Yeah. Go watch them. Go watch The Simpsons, and actually just Google what episodes of The Simpsons have came true. Yes, they are accurate, Michelle. They are very accurate. I mean, they were made in 1990s, and it showed Trump being president. It showed 9/11 way before 9/11 even happened. Wow. The Illuminati game, the card game, it's telling us what is to come. Just so you know.
I've heard about it, but I've never looked into it.
Yeah, look into it. Brandy, when we were modding, I did tons of research on The Simpsons for an episode that never happened. Why didn't it happen?
I'm not surprised, Michelle. We had a lot of those.
Why didn't it happen?
Think about who she's talking about.
Which one?
The one that Lindsay mimics really well.
Oh, heck, I drove to Des Moines and did a whole bunch of research and videoed it with the Johnny Gosh case and she didn't even freaking use it. I spent, no, never mind. Yeah, because drama took its importance. Yeah, drama. It's everywhere. Gosh, it's frustrating.
Drama. You know what movie that's from?
Drama? No. What movie?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, I've never seen that.
You've never watched that? You must. It's absolutely a girl
No.
flick.
Huh?
It's absolutely a girl flick. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't watch movies. I mean, like the movies like this there's a movie called White Noise on it's actually on Netflix, and it's about a freaking train derailment that happened in Salem, Ohio, which is like 30 minutes away from East Palestine, Ohio. Uh that's another thing. They do a lot of predictive
look at what
programming.
Michelle said. Hey, y'all, my babies.
Who's she talking about?
Oh my God, seriously?
What? What? Who's she talking about?
Who says that?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Oh
gosh.
my
See, I
God.
forgot. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, my. Does she say that? You serious?
Yes.
Wait a second. Christina
You've never
Randall
paid
says
attention to
that.
that?
Christina Randall says that. She
Uh-huh.
took Christina Randall's freaking saying.
Yep.
Are you freaking kidding me? See, I haven't watched her in months and I won't. She makes me want to puke in my mouth.
Yeah, I
I
haven't watched her in
cannot
a while.
believe she took Christina Randall's saying. That's sad. Gosh.
Well, now I can't see where that freaking active shooter was today.
Oh, I'm
Sad
just
that we have
floored
so
over
many
that.
active shooters, a bunch of them pop up. So it's like I can't figure out which one was when I saw it today on Twitter.
Oh my gosh. I just got to go watch one time where she says that. I'm going to let Christina Randall know she took her saying. Nobody says it other than Christina Randall. I mean, come on.
Look, and I love Christina Randall, but she drives me crazy saying it too.
Well, she has said it for what, 4 years?
Yeah. But I mean,
Um,
she's got the following and it's fine. It's
yeah,
her
and
thing.
people,
But yeah,
that's her thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm nobody's baby. I'm not even Jim's baby.
I don't
I'm,
like that
I'm
kind of love bombing. Don't
yeah,
love bomb me that
but
way.
I mean, that's terrible. That would be like me taking somebody else's freaking sayings. Who does that and think it's okay? Gosh.
No, Joey, you
Wow.
will not come up here. I have a 100-pound German Shepherd that thinks he's supposed to get in my lap. No, get in. You are not getting up here.
Does your dogs ever play hide and seek with you? My daughters think I'm crazy.
I
But I
tried
play
to do
hide and
that with
seek with
mine,
my
but you know what? They
Cavapoo.
have to go away from me long enough to do that.
Well, I throw a ball from the doorway clear down the hall and it goes into the sunroom, and it gives me time to hide either in my bathroom, the laundry room, or Caitlin's room, or my room. And I throw it, and I'm telling you, it is so funny.
I
That,
want to do the one where they do the blanket. You know, you stand behind the blanket and you're doing peekaboo, and then when you
yes,
drop it, you're gone. I want to
yes.
do that with them.
How do you think that works? don't freaking be speechless, because was that a stupid question?
I'm going, hey, I mean, you hold the blanket. I'm not exactly sure how you're asking me. Like you're holding the blanket up, and you're like, when you let go of it, you move behind the door, so they don't see you move behind the door.
Well,
They
it
just
looks
move
like a
behind the blanket.
disappearing act to me.
Yes.
They're that good. I wouldn't be
Yes.
able to move fast enough to get away from
Yeah, I don't know that I could either, but it's worth a try.
You were like speechless when I asked that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know exactly what she's asking. Just like, how does it work? I mean, you're behind the blanket and you jump from behind the blanket.
I mean, it's freaking they
Oh
make
my
it look
God,
like
yeah.
they just vanished. Oh, God. I mean, you didn't say a word. I knew right then and there that was a stupid fucking question.
I was seriously trying to figure out how to answer it because I was like, wait, what? Oh my God.
Oh, my stomach. Oh, shoot. Some of those, they really do look like they vanished and there's no place for them to go. There really isn't. There is no doorway on some of those. So they have to freaking be like, I don't know where they go.
A lot of times they'll go behind a couch or they're in like a bathroom kind of thing. All the ones I've seen, they're like in a doorway.
Oh my God.
I can see the clips now.
Oh, I don't care. You know what? I wish they would clip me. It would just bring me more subscribers, I think. Oh God. At least we have fun and we laugh.
Right?
Oh gosh, my stomach. Dang.
What was I going to say a while ago? I don't know. I had something I was going to say and then I was confused by how to answer you. And so I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my God.
And all I said, uh-oh, that was a stupid question because she's not saying anything.
Like, oh my God. I don't have a clue what I was going to say now.
Well, we were talking about the TikToks and I was playing hide and seek with my dog.
There was another topic. I don't remember. It's gone. It'll come back in a minute, maybe.
Yeah.
Brandy, whatever happened to that wives thing you were supposed to do? Well, I need to get with Auntie and start planning that so we can do it because we were gonna start and then what is that guy's name? One of the creators that follows them a lot did an interview with Peyton Brown. And we were both fascinated with that and trying to decipher it. And then there was a TikToker called Toxicity that came out and they were sharing all kinds of stuff. And so we fell down rabbit holes. So I need to get with Auntie and us do that because I can talk sister wives all day, every day.
I want to hear that too. I want to know what's going on with that.
It's absolutely a shit show at this point. Like now they're all divorced and other than Robin, but he was spotted with Robin and some other woman at a casino last weekend. And so now people are speculating that it's somebody he's courting. So who knows? Who knows? At this point, any woman that would want to go there would just be foolish.
Oh, wow.
No, they're actually in Flagstaff, but they were visiting in Vegas. I think they were in Vegas visiting. A couple of the kids live in Vegas, and then Christine moved to Utah. Oh, now Janelle may be in Vegas, or did she go to Utah? She's one of those areas. Well, I think Michelle, he really believed at one point that having more wives and children is how you got your station in heaven.
Hey, I'm going to go get me a drink real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to grab me a drink.
That was part of his religious views on it. And I mean, I'm fine. If you want to have 20 kids, go have 20 kids, but you need to pay for them. Don't expect our tax dollars to pay for it. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't mind our tax dollars. It needs to be there to help the people that need it, not the people that think they're called to bring that many children into the world. Because if you're called to have that many children, God's going to provide for that many children. That's just my view on it. I'm kind of harsh on that one. I've seen too many people not be able to get benefits for the right reasons. But yeah, I love me some sister wives. Y'all don't stop it.
You talking to your circus?
Jovi is grumbling. I think I have a girl coming in heat, and so Jovi and Cooper are showing their asses. Cooper's all of 8 pounds, and Jovi is 100 pounds, and Cooper thinks he can take him.
Oh gosh, Michelle, geez, I
have not watched a lot of the Duggars, and I should. I've watched some, I think it's because Katie Joy covers him so much, and I've tried to avoid her as much as possible.
Oh, I can't with that one.
You know, me and Fancy had a huge fight with Katie Joy, right?
You told me about that. Did these guys, does Michelle and Hemi and them know about it?
I don't know. We did an interview with her in 2019, and it was one of those times Fancy literally calls and she says, "Hey, we have an interview with this girl. She has a YouTube channel. It's like Without a Crystal Ball or something. Can you look it up and see what it is we're interviewed about?" Because I didn't write it down. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I go look up her channel and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, she covered Gypsy, but she had everything wrong. Like she had the names wrong. Everything was wrong. It was just bad." Oh, yeah, that's what it's about. Well, then we remembered one of the people on our team knew her from some of the Munchausen and special needs groups, different groups that they were in. And so she was supposed to be somewhat of an expert on Munchausen because they had discovered a few people in their mom groups that were Munchausen by proxy. So we go do this interview and we're kind of wanting out of the interview, and then it just kind of keeps going. Why we didn't end it, I don't know. It was stupid on our part. Luckily, we taped everything. Well, the next thing we know, she contacted Christy Blanchard when we asked her not to, because it was stuff we had promised the family we would not be going and giving details publicly.
Now, is that Gypsy's stepmom?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that woman went to Natasha and buddied up with Natasha.
What woman?
She went, Katie Joy.
She buddied up with Natasha?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because she buddied up with Christy, and then they come out saying that Natasha was now the family spokesperson, and it was all to get it fancy. Every bit of it was to just rile her up.
Oh, my God.
And she went live and lied about what we did in the interview and what was said. Because the interview, even though we taped it, we were never going to release it. That was just for our benefit, for whatever studying, what we were putting together for the project. And it wasn't one of those that we ever meant to put out. It just wasn't going to happen. Well, when she started lying about it, I mean, we were trying to publicly call her out on lying, and it kept getting worse. And so we're like, fuck it. We put the whole interview out there. The interview is horrible. The interview is absolutely like, people are like, they sound like mean girls. And I'm like, and I went in and I'm like, look, we didn't even mean for this to be public, but she lied, and she's not going to lie about what was said. And so
you guys were very smart to record it.
People still to this day will bring that interview up and how Katie lied and stirred trouble. Because like literally when we're sharing stuff with her, we're like, look, please don't say anything publicly. This isn't stuff we can release yet. But when we can, we'll definitely give you the thumbs up to release it. And she agreed. And we were like, we're trying to stay peaceful with the family. We're in the separating and going different ways, but we have come to an agreement of peace and blah, 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 blah. And she went and told Christy all kinds of shit. Oh, it was bad.
Once a recliner is entangled, it usually turns to a disaster.
Well, she turned on Natasha pretty quickly too. So yeah,
I had no idea she buddied up with
even Natasha will tell you that woman's nuts. Like even Natasha
watch her for 2 minutes and you can tell she's way
out
there.
She is.
People she's got a lot of subs because they're waiting for the freaking next train wreck to happen right then.
Oh yeah. There. Well, she's got several lawsuits against her. I think the Duggars filed a suit against her.
Didn't that
Steve
one
McRae, the ex-business partner, had a suit against her, which he's a Looney Tune himself.
Did Gypsy get a no contact order too against her?
No, Gypsy doesn't have a no contact order.
Didn't Gypsy get a no contact order against Natasha or something?
No, she has her blocked on the JPay and through the prison system, but not a no contact order. She just has her where she's not allowed to contact her.
Now, do you think she's going to get out? Do you think she's going to get out next year?
She's already gotten her parole. She's gotten it. She'll be out next year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she got it. There were people during that time frame that were literally calling the prison. Hi, may I speak to Gypsy?
Oh gosh.
And we're like, and then they were getting pissed. And it was like, are you people stupid? You don't call the prison. May I speak to so-and-so? It's not a halfway house.
God.
It's prison. Yeah, people were literally calling the prison nonstop. It was crazy.
I can only imagine the interviews that Gypsy's going to do when she gets out.
Yeah, it's
Oh boy, people will take advantage of that, I think.
yeah.
Um, uh, I don't, I've watched a lot of it because before Brandy was going to do this, she was going to, hey Punksy, she was going to cover it, but something you're not going to be able to do that
Well,
right
I
yet,
was
right,
I
Brandy?
was going to cover it, and I'm still going to cover it, except that I'm doing it through the project that is going into the network. So
Yeah.
since I'm doing that, I want to be respectful and not give
Yep.
that information out. Um, hey, Punksy. And so, and it's I'm not in contract not to do it. I just think that it's tacky if I do. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting ready. I was supposed to record Sunday, but I had so much going on. I'm guessing we'll be recording this weekend. Um, Fancy wants my take on the Nick thing because I'm pretty strongly opinionated, and so it just works.
Well, you know how I felt. I mean, I felt really bad for Nick until Brandy filled me in, and that's when I really started digging
Well, and
and listening.
I've really, because like even with Nick, I will say this much: I do not. I think Nick's family failed him like Gypsy's failed her.
Yep. I agree. I
And
don't think he should have got life. He should have got
well,
major.
he should have taken the deal they gave him. He refused the deal.
Yeah.
He refused the deal. That's why people get angry because Gypsy got 10 and he got life with no parole. He had a decent deal, 30 years, and he'd have been
Yeah.
out. He refused that so there was no other option. And that's on him. He should never refuse the deal because he would have been out in early. He still would have been young. He still could
Yeah.
have had a good life. Um,
Yeah. And Gypsy,
Michelle Brandy strongly opinion. No, no,
no,
not
no,
me.
no.
Never, ever. Yeah. Nick sadly does not have the support
Yeah.
that would ever make him safe to be in the
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel on it. Would I love to see him have that support? Yes, I do. Because I don't want anybody stuck in there forever. Prison's awful. But the
Yeah.
prisons isn't set up to give them rehabilitation either. And that
Yeah.
that needs to change. We need to have a better rehabilitation because you have people go in there and they come out worse than when they went in.
Yeah.
And that needs to change. And that is something I hope that we can finish. That's one of the projects we had always said we were going to do, and we lost our way on that. So I can hope that we can pick that back up and push for prison reform.
Yeah. And Gypsy, on my opinion,
Yeah,
I
Michelle, that's pretty. Like, who does that?
oh
Like, who does
gosh,
that?
yeah. Good
Good
night,
night,
Punksy.
Nancy. Yeah, normal people do not sit in McDonald's watching porn and jacking off. I mean, they
Yeah,
just don't.
I mean, he's definitely not normal.
No, and there's just a lot of strangeness in all of that. Um, and I've had conversations with Nick. They're strange conversations. Very strange conversations. Yes,
Yeah.
Punksy. He was inside a McDonald's. He's like, wait, never mind. I am not going to bed now. Watching porn on a laptop, whacking off, and he had a big knife as well. So yeah,
Gross.
yeah. He's
10
just not.
hours of it.
He's just, and he has a form of autism, and there's a lot there. He does not have multiple personalities. People love to try to say that is not what he has. Uh, and he's not as poor, pitiful, and gullible as people think he is. But he would not be the way he is if he had a better parental system.
Yeah.
And I just nobody's ever changed my mind on that. I've always felt that way, and I always will. But I'm that way with Gypsy. Gypsy would not have been here if her mom, dad, and stepmother had not failed her.
Yeah, and at first I thought Gypsy was very, very conniving,
Oh, she is.
deceitful, but
She is.
what she's been, I mean, she was taught that.
She
That's
was
how
taught
she was
that.
raised. She don't know any different, I
No,
guess.
she the original channel that Fancy set up, Murder by Design, was the name come to mind because of Gypsy. Dee Dee created her own murder.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Exactly, Michelle K.
Yeah.
That's how I think
The
of it.
sad thing is and I hope and I do stand on the thing that I do think Gypsy has done a lot of work in prison, and I do think that she has worked on herself enough. I worry that the people around Gypsy are going to use Gypsy's name to keep getting money.
I said that. That's what I said. There's going to be a lot of people
And I
using
don't
her.
think it's good for Gypsy, and I don't know
You
that
have
it's
that
ever going to be a
relation,
happy thing.
and
Mhm.
if anybody gets an interview with her, I told I told you, I don't know if you can now with everything else going on, but I said when she gets out, if anybody interviews her, I think it should be Brandy and her friend because you guys
You
had a
Now that I'm
relationship.
going back with Fancy, now that I'm not with Fancy. Let me rephrase.
Well,
Fancy and I are not partners. I'm just doing some projects with her.
yes,
She won't with
yeah,
me. She won't. Um, she has recently reblocked me on JPay.
really,
So yeah, and that's okay. She has that right if she doesn't feel I'm a safe place. I've always been honest with Gypsy. I've always been honest publicly about it.
oh, I thought you were talking about Fancy.
No, no Gypsy.
Oh, okay.
And so, which is sad because there was a time that I remember when all of this was going on when I was so pissed at Christy. Oh my God. I was raging. We had a live we did. And it was when right at the time Christy had come out and said that Natasha was the new family spokesperson. Well, at that time, Natasha, hi Shay. Natasha had several groups, and one of them had a meme of Gypsy that said, "R word by day, whore by
Mm,
night," and or slut by night, or something like that.
wow.
And there were some other very unflattering memes in the group, and it infuriated me that a mother, because she is the stepmother, but she's still her mother, would condone somebody like that to be a spokesperson for your family
Yeah.
and not be outraged at how they talked about her daughter. And I had to apologize to Christy because I mean it was a business thing, and Christy and I've had talks, but I was infuriated. It pissed me off, and I mean I raged. Like I don't know how Facebook didn't yank our life because I called her every name I could come up with, and I was not nice. I was pissed because it wasn't fair to Gypsy.
Yeah.
And so when I watch people do all the Gypsy knows, and I've told Gypsy, I've always felt a mom pull, like a mom heart towards Gypsy, because I don't feel like she ever had that. And so, and you can be mad at your kids and still love them,
Yeah.
you know.
Michelle, you talking about the dad? Yes. I
I'm gonna tell you,
agree.
who is even better looking is cousin Bobby. I'm just sorry. I mean, I think Rod's good looking, and he is good looking because I like that kind of look on a man. But cousin Bobby, whoo, Lord,
Who's that? His brother?
no, it's Dee Dee's cousin.
Oh, I
He's a
guess I don't
tattoo
know
artist.
him.
Yeah, he's in Mommy Dead and Dearest. I think is the one that he's in.
And it's
He
the real
is
person?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He said they interview him. He is good looking.
So why, I mean, okay, let's be honest. Dee Dee was, unless she was like drop dead gorgeous when she was younger, was she?
No,
I mean, it just makes you wonder why was he with her? I mean, maybe she was, I don't know.
I think she was fun. He was young. He was 17 years old. She was older.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's face it, at 17, you have one thought as a boy, and that is
Yeah.
getting your dick wet.
Yeah.
And they're, I don't know how y'all are where y'all are at. Down here in the South, back in those days, you got a girl pregnant, you married her.
Yeah.
And Gypsy, that's not the only child. There was another child born. Oh Lord, she was 4 months after Gypsy, 6 months after Gypsy.
Gosh.
So he had several, and he was seeing Christy back then too. So he was a playboy.
Oh, Michelle, me too. And the ones that were jocks and football, you know, the sports, and now they're fat, ugly, and bald.
Yeah. I laugh because my husband and you know, and of course I'm biased, but I look at all the guys he graduated with. I'm like, damn, I got the cream of the crop. Like they're all gray, losing hair, big pot bellies. And
Yeah.
here my husband is. I mean, he's put on some weight and he's getting a little gray hair and it's getting thin, but he still has all his hair and they all don't.
Yeah. I tell you, it's funny. And you know, they all thought they were just it in high school, you know, and now they're blah. So,
Yeah.
which, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that Dee Dee, oh, she looking at her and looking at him. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, and she was not a very nice person.
No.
She was even in high school was not a very nice person. Very selfish. Her mother was very selfish. The stuff that goes with that is generational.
Yeah.
Everything with Dee Dee is generational. Her mother was like that. Her grandmother was like that.
I mean, she freaking got a lot of money from people.
Yeah.
Look at the house. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep.
It's just sad. I mean, it's just so sad.
We
Gypsy,
had copies of different canceled checks from multiple
I mean,
music artists like
my
Miranda
question,
Lambert and all of the big names have given them money.
why didn't the doctors figure out? I mean, they have to run tests for leukemia and stuff like that.
So the one doctor that she had in Missouri
Is that the one that caught her?
is also the same doctor she had in Louisiana.
We're talking about Gypsy Rose, Shay. Oh, really?
So if you stop and think about it, the doctor she was using in Louisiana follows them to Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
The doctor followed them to Missouri, or did they follow the doctor?
That he followed them.
And is that the one that figured something wasn't right?
No, he was the one that always wrote in the thing and gave her all the medicine.
Why did he follow her then? What?
He was, okay, my opinion, he was in on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did he get in trouble at all?
No.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit.
No, there's a statute of limitations on a lot of that, and they've never pursued any of it.
Well,
I'm going to tell you what, looking in those medical records, I have looked at thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of medical records. Just on dentist alone, probably 600 pages.
I mean, it just blows me away. The doctor that finally caught on, thank God. You know.
Well, and they didn't really catch on. They brought it up.
Well,
they brought it up, and then it was excused away.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what he thought. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he knew something wasn't right, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many things that failed her, Gypsy. I mean,
there is.
The poor girl had to have.
And in the end, Gypsy was complicit as well. You know, but that's all she knew.
Yep. Oh, at first, I thought she was, which she is, you know, manipulating and stuff, but I thought she was just.
Oh, she can manipulate with the best of them.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that is all she knew. That's what she was taught.
when we saw the in which they've removed everything because that's all going in the documentary, but when we finally got the full police interrogation, Fancy had sent it out. It was into Google, and she wanted everybody to watch it. And she says we're gonna have a meeting about it. And she had asked me, "Have you watched it?" I'm like, "I'm watching it now." And then I'm texting her, going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And the next day, and I told her, I was like, I can't even, I have to process this. Give me the day. I need the day to think on this because there's too much. And it was very hard for our team. It was very hard. It changed a lot of how we looked at things, and we realized that we had been lied to. And then we had the interview with the jailer, and I literally cried. Like, we got through with that interview, and Fancy was like, "Are you okay?" And I went, "No, not at all. I'm not even a little bit okay. I need a minute." And it was hard. It was very hard.
That's the jailer at the hospital or at the jail?
At the jail.
Prison? The jail.
At the prison. Yep.
Oh, gosh. Which one is it, the documentary where you said that the cousin? Which one is that?
I believe it's going to be Mommy Dead and Dearest, I think is the one he's on. Because there's two. There's Mommy Dead and Dearest and Gypsy's Revenge.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that there was these.
Yeah, they're very surface level because at that time nobody had all the information. They just had some of the information. But yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm excited for us to finally put all of our actual thoughts into words and on a screen.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do the social media aspect of it and what we went through. And tie all of the craziness together.
I can't even imagine.
It is insane. It is insane.
Yeah. I could not even imagine. Anyways, well, I've got to get off here. My daughter wants me to help straighten her hair for school tomorrow. And it takes a good hour.
Yeah, Michelle, I can. Gypsy never gets old. It is one of those for me.
Oh, yeah.
And the sad thing is we've done so much with it that I've probably forgotten some more than a lot of people know. So I have to like remind myself and go, "Oh shit, yeah, wait a minute, hold on."
I cannot wait for you to do the one where at the social media aspect. I want to hear that.
We actually come up with the show we're going to do about social media presence. I was discussing the things that we watch happen on YouTube, and we're going to do a show on it.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, thank you so much for coming up, Brandy. Michelle, next time you need to come up with us. Do you ever get on panel?
Oh, yeah, she gets on panel.
Well, good. She can stop teasing me with future things. She said, well, we're going to both go live more often. I've had so many people tell me I need to start going live more, and people telling Brandy she needs to go live more.
I want to, because I am going to still do stuff on YouTube along with my other stuff. I just got to get through getting my planning process happening and get the wedding over with.
Yep.
And then, of course, now I got to figure out what they want to do with the knee, because I did go back to the doctor and we got progress on the knee. So once I get that MRI done, then I'll have some answers. So I'm probably going to have more surgeries. Who knows? Yeah. But at least they're fixing shit. So, but I got to figure out how to plan everything out and start doing shit, because I really want to come on and do my lives and talk about other things.
Yeah, so, I added you as a mod, Michelle. I didn't even have one in here.
I was here, but I was not on. Yeah. I was on here, not on my phone. But
Shay's here.
Michelle's still a mod on my channel.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
I know, Michelle, I got to get my shit together. But all right, guys, y'all have a good night.
You too. Thanks, guys. Good night.